Well, even though Molly and I right now are standing on a completed deck, there were a lot of steps in the process of getting this built, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the process of preparing the ground underneath the deck. I had to do some landscaping work to deal with a water problem I had because of the slope and the drainage issues. I got that corrected. Plastic down and the gravel on so that there wouldn't be anything growing underneath the deck, and it would be secured for the future because it would be all covered up with what is a very low deck, and I wouldn't be able to get underneath here in the future. So stick around to see how I took care of that. I took advantage of this deck project to take care of another issue I've had for a long time, and that's the soil sloping into the house, right up along the house. Slopes down from the grade up there, comes down to what was a walkway, and then it continued to slope where the soil had settled along the foundation wall. So I brought in from my stock of black dirt over by the woods, filled this in, leveled it out. I have a slope now away from the house to what is essentially a trough. If you've seen the video on the heavy rains we had this spring and the water rushing this way, it will now continue to rush that way past the other end of the house and down the hill and not seep into the house. I'll have another video at some point showing you how I fixed a couple of cracks in the walls on this side of the house too, where some water had leaked in. So between that and this landscaping work, I have probably licked another major problem. Now the deck will go over the top of this after I put down some plastic and some wash stone to hold it down. Well, here it is, 10 o'clock in the morning on September 12th. 77 degrees out already, beautiful, clear day, sunny. I was looking back at some memories, and 2 years ago today we had our first fire in the fireplace for the season, and we were talking about getting the flannel sheets on the bed and wearing warmer clothes, but that's not the case this year. It's been a warm one all the way through, which is all right because I got a lot of work to get done here yet. So the next step in the process of getting this deck put in is get plastic rolled out, heavy mill black plastic, and then put some of that washed gravel on the top, and that'll be the area underneath the deck. There'll be some other landscaping done off to the sides, like a slab put in here and some pavers on the side here where we'll set some plants and things eventually in the future. But for now, we'll get that down, and then I can finish getting dimensions. These are just a couple of old 6x6 posts I had sitting around that I'm going to use to figure out exactly where I have to make my cuts and how high of a header I'm going to need. The guys that are going to do the framing for me, they have a framing business, neighbors. They are tied up the rest of this week, and then next week they had scheduled to take some time off, so I've got a little bit of breathing room to get the final dimensions and get the material here and get it stacked so it's ready for them to use when they get back from vacation. So let's get busy with getting that plastic down and getting the stone spread out. Well, let's get this plastic rolled out. I've got the roll centered with its width. 6 foot wide plastic. Center mark at 3 feet. And roll her out just to the edge of where the deck will be. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that transition yet. And cut it off. Now we just need to open it up. Not too windy today, so we shouldn't have too much trouble. Boy, that's not hot, hurry. Swipe around the garden, don't kill weeds. That's a good job. There, we'll straighten it out. We'll put another layer on, starting to get to the house. We'll have plenty of things here. 6 mil. Should take care of it. I'm almost ashamed to try to do this in the wind. This is the way I normally do something. There. We have a complex technical part of this equation. I get that window well cut out, and we can start putting down some gravel. That's the simple part, but not necessarily the easiest. Nice sunny day for it. Years of training and preparation have gone into the process of doing this. On the farm as a kid, I had to shovel silage and feed with a grain scoop. And then when I first started in the foundry, I worked as a janitor watchman on the weekends. And during the week after school, 2-3 nights a week, I got to shovel sand in the sand basement. Using one of these on my knees, shoveling sand over my shoulder into the conveyor. I think I'm qualified for this. Let's get some on the edges. Hold this thing down. I gotta figure out who's gonna do this stuff when I get old. There, that's about 3/4 of a yard to cover this 8 foot by 18 foot area. I'll Move this out a little bit with the back side of the rake, and it's on to the next step.